Okay, what's going on? So we just had to refilm the video, which I really wasn't too far in and didn't say nothing. Because my lighter, every time someone gives me a lighter, doesn't work. Well, it dies really quick. Always come back to these goddamn matches. Just reminding myself of something. This video is about everything's gonna be okay. And I'm gonna reassure you that, reaffirm that, no matter what you're going through in life. Some people have it well off. They have money, material things, rich, the elite, whatever you want to call it. Doesn't make anyone really different. They may have access to things and different resources, whether they're going through depression, whatever it is, a murder, freaking a court case, a breakup, anxiety, losing friends, maybe an animal, a dog, or maybe a test, something that's coming up, an appointment, an interview. And this is just to reassure you, whatever it is, everything's going to be okay. Now it's hitting. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And that is very true. I would know the best. Everything's going to be okay, no matter what you're going through in life. A breakup, a divorce, a friendship loss, or maybe even something more. No matter what's going on, it will always be okay. Everybody goes through different things. Life's supposed to be easy, so let it be that way. That's my personal belief. I believe life's supposed to be easy. But, you know, I mean, it's how you take it and how you want to live it, because ultimately all outcomes in your life are how you make it and how it turns out. It's all basically your karma. Stop it, it goes out. But what do I mean by that? It's just like everything that's in your life is your making. Of course, there's going to be some outside sources, environment, things, but how you react to them is what's going to matter most, because everything comes from the inside. Oh, I was thinking about something, and maybe I'll come back. Like, I forgot what it was, because it was before. This video is just to reassure you that everything's going to be all right. What could possibly go wrong? What's so bad? Is it the end of the world? You probably heard the cliche, oh, somebody got it way worse than you. Which, depending on who you are and what's going on in your life and how you're raised, might be true. Just know, you know, everything's going to be all right. We've been through a lot of subjective programming where you have anxiety or maybe fear or thinking things are not going to be right, or always worrying about especially money or the economy when the job comes, or when your job necessarily. Don't let things get the best of you. Life and all that matters, neutrality. There is no judgment. And you can view things as positive or negative, however you want to take them. But that's it. That's the key. If you don't, see, there's some people who don't really think. Then there's some people who do think. And then there's all these people in between. I'm saying this for the thinkers, or even anybody. If you do have some thoughts that are just random or something, just go along with them. Don't necessarily try to exile them and get rid of them. Just let them be. Because you want to be thoughtless for the most part. But let's say you are thinking. Think positive. Don't think negative things, you know. Be positive about your life. If you can recreate the image in your head, whatever it is, positive. Even if you don't like someone, give them love. And that's what I was going to say before. Everyone's basically your friend. I forget what brought me into that, the thing I forgot that I was going to say. Because I had to break this butt up by hand, and I did have a grinder. And I suck at breaking butt up by hand. Like, no matter what's going on, everything's going to be okay. Usually when anything happened in your life, the next day, you probably got over it or forgot about it. Of course, there's some things that linger and stay on. You know, like, some people get real upset. Let me tell you something, over relationships, which is understandable, especially when you're young. But what you need to understand is, mustache is on high. Everything comes from within. So the closest you can get to anybody or anything is not a physical thing. You want to get as close as to your boyfriend and girlfriend, you think you got to go inside him and have sex, touch hands or touch feet. That's not, there's something closer, and it's actually just a feeling, something beyond the physical, beyond the touch. So there's closer things than you think than just like sex. There's so much more. There's so much more. And there's nothing wrong with sex, and I'm not downplaying sex at all either, because sex is sacred in itself. It has energy and everything. Everything you do takes energy, so what are you going to do? People understand when you put negative thoughts in your head, it escalates to other negative thoughts, or things catches off rhythm or bad timing. And, you know, everything does happen for a reason, and it is written in the stars, but don't let it get the best of you. You can change your thoughts, how you're feeling at any time. You can make the best of it. Some people, which this is a really good way, and probably the number one way, or distractions. Though some people use distractions as a way of not coping with the present, which is not good either. Such as the procrastinators, or people who don't want to get stuff done. So get stuff done. Be who you want to be. Whatever your dream is, whatever you want to do, whether it's a dream or just something you want to manifest in reality, go do it. It's actually not hard. It's actually pretty easy. What separates you or anybody from anybody is simply this. You escalate the things in reality. A lot of people have thoughts. In fact, just the individual probably has over hundreds of thoughts a day. Maybe even 1,000. But you gotta understand, that's not someone else's thought. People aren't coming to read your mind, nor do they really care, to an extent. Regardless if they care or not, you gotta understand, not everything is gonna be your way necessarily, but you have to make it happen. The only difference between you and someone else is because they went and made it happen. It doesn't even matter if you could paint the ugliest pictures, but if you went and told everybody, they know about your ugly pictures. In fact, that's what they'll be. Whether they're judging you and being negative or what, you're still going to get publicity, and you'll get money and fame, notorious. If you just drew pictures that no one liked. This droid's really annoying me because, like, I had to light it a million times. And it's just like, I had to break up the button. I was like, fuck it, doing that. Yeah. Don't let things get the best of you. And what I was going to say is, people get too attached to things, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with attachment. But what you need to understand is, people in life are going to pass away. They're always going to be with you. And yes, you can always talk to the dead. Talking to the dead's a very real thing. People talk to God all the time, for instance, or Jesus, whether they're real or not. Because Someone may leave their physical body, but they'll still be there energetically, spiritually. So everything's going to be okay, because what you got to understand, death is actually a positive thing. It is, you can call it neutral if you want. It's all about how you look at it, but you're moving on. Life doesn't cease for a reason. It always continues to go. In fact, the key thing to life is ever adapting and changing. Just like every tree, just like every bug in nature, every animal, which we are animal, just like the environment, just like the world, just like the energy level of it. The world runs on the energy that you give off. One person can't change the whole world. Your energy, the vibration, the blue ring around Earth. We are invisible energy. We just happen to be seeing some energy that can be seen. We are seen energy, but we are just light. It's kind of complex, but you need to understand we are just our soul, which is an energy we can't see necessarily. You can kind of see it though. Obviously, I'm in a physical form, but this isn't my soul. My soul, the soul is kind of like one collective soul anyway, and I'm just in a body, basically, and so are all of we. Whether you want to acknowledge it or not. But at the end of the day, the world is on a collective source of energy, and we all run off this energy. Now, if one person, if a lot of people are in fear, it gives fear. It's just the whole collective energy. But you can still hone your own energy just by, having you being in control. Because you want to be in control of your life. Very few times you want to be not in control. I can think of times, such as like a girl who wants to be in bondage or something, tied up, or wants to be, choked. Other things, such as people who maybe do an experiment. It's not necessarily a permanent thing. People like to have control, but you don't need to have control over people. You don't need to have love over someone. You don't just love one thing. See, if you don't love, love is not, this should be the video name. Love is not, it's something. It is something, but it's everything actually, and nothing, which we're not going to get into the neutrality, but really love is what runs the earth. It's the most powerful energy. Love runs everything. But what you got to understand, love is not just like you love your boyfriend or you love your girlfriend. That's not, that's so small. That's like almost dumb-witted. Because like you want to love everything you do. Like when you were a kid, pretty much. In fact, you don't need sex, you don't need drugs, you don't even need alcohol. These things are all supplements in an addition, whatever you want to say about them. And they also do certain things medicinally and therapeutically, and the list goes on. Spiritually, we could talk about this forever. But that's not the point of this video. Love, just the word, the power of the sound of the vibration in the vocal cords is a very strong word. But you want to love everything you do, your job, what you say, how you feel about yourself, how you feel about your thoughts, if you're having any thoughts. It's just really an awe for the inspiration out there and just the way things are. Just to wake up and be alive, just to breathe. You hear people say that shit all the time, but I'm saying something else, technically. But, a lot of people say it, but do they really mean it? Do you really love every inch of your life? Are you really living it? If you could go back and change it, would you? Because if you would, then you aren't living the life. Like, you want to live your life in one direction without any regrets. I mean, it's alright if you do have regrets. You learn and live. Everything is a lesson. Nothing is final. And this is what I was saying about the survival of the fittest. Everybody adapts. Everything is going to be adapting to something. And, you know, it doesn't matter what I look like. It's to some people, you know, it's going to have things. Of course, it's going to have appeal for 50% of people, maybe even more. And it's not just me, it's just other things. Then there's going to be the emotional. Then there's going to be a spiritual, like energetic level, basically. You know, people are going to have different levels. That there's going to be people who are down just naturally, not saying anything about that. There's going to be people who are up and just all over the place. And everybody can be, that's the thing, you can be anyone you want. It's up to you, you know what I mean? It's up to, people don't understand, you don't have to be someone who you think you have to be. It's not like that. You don't, just because I like music, music's just a small part of my life, though it can be everything, and it can be the biggest part, which it ultimately is the biggest part of my life. But what you need to understand is, I don't want to let that define me. There's nothing that defies me. There should be nothing that defies you. Just because someone works at a car wash doesn't mean he doesn't want to be known as a car washer. He could just be doing that momentarily, temporarily. You know, we're not saying the polar bear was a fucking entrepreneur. You just don't let things defy you. Don't become too attached to things. And when, like I was saying, love runs the world, and survival of the fittest, you are meant to adapt to whatever situation to overcome, to be best of all. In fact, and I would say in worlds today, it used to be a physicality thing where you go basically beat someone out, kill them, torture them, get rid of their village, whatever it is. Or you make peace with them. It's one or the other, usually. Or it's neutral. But when we dive deeper into it, survival of the fittest, it's not really that anymore. It's more, I'm giving my opinion on this, I'll say this when I do, more of a mental game. You can do mental anytime. I guess it's equal, but I feel like nowadays it's more mental, because we can't just go and fight someone because we'll get taken to jail. Well, they'll use force too, which we could use force too, but I'm not talking technology or guns or anything like that, firearms, swords. I'm talking, I mean, swords, I guess, but basic instruments of combat. That would be more so just bare hands, because doesn't even matter. But you know, people, you can do it before mental game. That's why there's traps, distractions, you know, circuses, clowns, these trolls. There's things, negative energy, haters. There's things out here to kind of like bring you back, but not in that way. There's things that test you. Things are really out here to test you, and you make the most of them. That's why it's best to start from the inside and work your way out. People don't understand. You don't need to go anywhere. Go anywhere in the world. Nowhere. Not to Mount Everest, not to the bottom of the ocean. You can find all the answers in you. All you really got to do is be still. I'm not going to make this video too long, but okay, I just want to say, whatever you're going through, anxiety, depression, breakup, loss, everything is going to pass. Even you. Which you need to understand, it's all going to be okay. You don't have to be sad because someone died. You don't. You can. Just know what's coming. And more so, even more so, be happy. People want to be happy when you pass away. They do. It's, you know, life, everything in life is beautiful. Life and death. There's no cuts in between. Just like you can't love your girlfriend and hate the neighbor down the street. You love everyone. You know what I mean? You might not like him. You might not get along with him. You don't want him to die. You don't want him to choke. You don't want him, you know, whatever. It's just like, unless you really want to, which is fine. But it's more so about recognition, and further drop back, really getting into them things, like loving everything you do. Then you won't hate anybody, because there'll be no one to hate or nothing to hate, because you're loving what you do. Then you'll be in that rhythm. Have a nice day. Subscribe to the channel. I just dropped a music video if you're interested. Spaceship. Check that out. This was the day after I dropped it, so check it out. Stay tuned for more videos. Life with Fizz is up. There's only one video on it, so if you want to go to it, it's not synced up to this channel yet, but it will be. I've been real busy. I'm going to probably do a video too of a life update, but we're going to get into that. Sorry for a longer video, but hey, I haven't been dropping as frequently necessarily, but pretty close to it. Have a nice day and God bless you.